Good morning, everyone. If you can, put your video on so that you're engaged in this session. And please change your screen name so that it's your real name, so I know who you are. I can identify most of you. But if you've got like a parent name, please just change it to your name. And yeah, good morning, everyone. So just say hi in the chat. And yeah, I've got 1E4. Excellent. Everyone looking forward to the football tonight? So the purpose of this session, it's a new idea. We wanted to keep track of how everyone's chess is going with the academy. So we thought we could have a few extra sessions, especially now that it's the summer holidays. Well, not for all of you, but for quite a few of you. So we've got a bit more time and see how you're getting on. So let me just share my screen and you can let me know. I like you to be interactive. Later on, I'll let you unmute yourselves, but for now, I'll just keep it on talking in the chat. So thanks for joining the session. You should be able to see my screen now, where I've got the material displayed. Just tell me if you can, and then we'll be ready to get started. You should be able to see the program there. Yep, football's coming home. Yeah, I hope everyone's got their outfits ready. Sarah's chess chat is being spammed by football. That's okay. I'm going to go out and get Isabel a top later for the football. I'm looking forward to it as well. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. And how have we found the material so far? Have you managed to complete week 1? If you haven't, don't worry. But I just want to find out. So do tell me in the chat. You've forgotten everything, William. Okay, it's good to be honest. Excellent. So here we created this new study, 64 positions you should know. And all you need to do is click on that to get to it. And here we've just got loads of different types of checkmates. And some of them are easy, some of them aren't. So it's really important to go through these and practice them. You know, most of you will look at the first one and say, well, that's easy, I know that. And then Lord Mowing, know all these. But as it gets later on down here, you kind of will get to a point where you don't know anymore, or maybe you used to know them and you hadn't practiced them for a while. So it's really good to keep an eye on these and just check you're up to date. Busy preparing for the FIDE under 10 girl world champs next month. Ah, excellent. Yeah, these are just great positions you should know, because if you get to an end game and you've got hardly any time on your clock and you're in a situation where you're tired, you've been playing for hours, you just want to know how to do these without thinking. So just go through them in your own time. We're not going to go through these in the session today, and just make sure you know them. And the ones that you find tricky, make sure you revise. You know, I'll always go through the knight and bishop checkmate, make sure I remember things like that, because otherwise it's actually quite embarrassing if you can't convert these positions. You played so well in the game to get a winning position and then you can't win the game. So who's had a look at these? I'm not expecting you to have gone through all of them, but who's had a look at these? Let me know, please, in the chat. Good, excellent. Got to like 30-ish. Okay, excellent. Done them all. Excellent, Charlie. Fantastic. So yeah, and this is something like you should be going through regularly anyway. Any that you find tricky, just set yourself aside maybe once a month that you just check that you know what you're doing. Excellent. Lots of people have. That's fantastic, because that's the thing that we don't always know because you're working remotely. So it's really good to have your feedback there. Let me go back to the presentation then, and we can talk about some other things. So we've got the endgame puzzles as well, and we're going to have a look at numbers 2 to 12 today. So let's do that now. Obviously, some of them I'm not going to spend too much time on. I'm going to go through them and just see how you've managed to get on with those. So this position, okay, should be fairly easy, so I'm not going to spend much time, but do you want to just tell everyone in the chat? So we're just looking for mate in 2. we're looking for precision here. So I know you can probably all get checkmate, but let's find the best way to do it. Yeah, excellent. Rook to f1. Good. Because then the king has to go to c8 and rook f8 is checkmate. And well done, people that have written the full variation. Okay, next one. 2 bishops. What's the shortest number of moves to get checkmate here? Now, the reason that we're doing it like this, I know in a game you might be able to get checkmate, but it would take longer. It's about precision and accuracy. And if you learn these patterns, then it will help you in other aspects of your game as well. So the shortest number of moves to get checkmate for black. I'm just going to unshare my screen for a moment and only share part of it so that I don't show you the answer. So just give me a second to do that. Just do that. Hang on. Okay, right, cool. So shortest number of moves to get to checkmate black. You should have already looked at these. If you haven't had time, no problem. But you can just tell everyone in the chat. And try and get your notation right. I'll put my timer on soon and let you have a certain amount of time to do it. A couple of people joining the meeting now. Just let them in. And later on, we're going to play some of these positions out. So we've got some answers in the chat. It is indeed mate in 6, Charlie. Well done. And Aidan. So if you haven't worked this out, just have a quick go. I'll put my timer on, give you maybe 1 minute. No, that's a bit short, maybe 2 minutes. Let's do that. You can always do these after the class as well. I just thought it'd be good to have a go together. But obviously, if you've already done them, then I'm not going to spend too much time focusing on them. Okay, 2 minutes. We do know that it's mate in 6. So see if you can work out the full variation in your head. Like I said, it's a really good way for practicing. And who is drawing on my screen? For your not like that. Right, there we go. If I had to disable it now. A little red mark there. Let me go rid of that. Okay, so 1 minute. And it uses a nice technique. Oh, very nice answer just come through there. So that Cameron into the meeting. And we're trying to do it in 6 moves here. So you start with bishop f6, which, sorry, there was 20 seconds left. Give you a bit more time. And I've often seen people get the 2 bishop checkmate wrong in the end game because, well, certain ways that it can go wrong. I'm just going to go into Alex's account because we set it up from his account, so you don't have the same rights to the study. Here we are. Okay. Oh, he's got a different color board now. Okay, cool. So this is the position, and just looking at the chat. Yeah, it is easy to stalemate. I think if you and move your king in too quickly, things can go wrong. So you need to use the king at the end and not get in the way, and especially if you've not got much time on the clock. So mate in 6 and bishop f6, king h3, bishop f5. Can you see the coordination between the bishops? Obviously one covering the dark squares, one covering the light squares. King h2. And what's next, guys? I think there's 2 ways to get, it's now mate in 4 because we've had 2 moves already. So yeah, king f2, excellent, Marcos. And now the king's only move is to go to h1. And please don't fall for stalemate here by going bishop e5, throwing away loads of hard work. And we've got mate in 3 now. I think there's probably various ways to do it. As long as you don't fall for stalemate. Yeah, essentially, thanks, Ria. Just a waiting move is good here. So let's go bishop g5, for example. King h2, and now bishop f4, king h1, and bishop e4. Okay, excellent. So I'm not going to spend too much time on these positions because obviously lots of you would have done them at home, but I just want to do it. Now this one I personally think is very tricky. So how did you guys find this if you've had a go at it already? I think you have to be very careful here. It looks like it should be so easy, but I don't think it is. So if you read through the booklet, you would have realized that there's some technique to this. Yeah, exactly. You've got to be careful for forks. And you've just got to make sure that you're not putting your king on a square where it can be constantly checked. So like here, a bad idea would be to go king to, I'll turn the timer off for a second, king to d4, because then it's just annoying because black keeps checking you and you've not really made any progress. So in the notes, we talked about going into the knight's shadow. And so here, can somebody suggest, you can do it to everyone, you don't have to do it privately, the move. Yeah, thanks Dylan Pro, Marcos and William. Yeah, excellent. King f4. The point of that is that the knight can't put us in check, and we're preparing on our next move to come forward with a check here. Now, I think I will get you guys to play these out later, so I'm not going to go through all the content of that now. We'll do some training positions in this class. So just remember though, make sure you're not going to put yourself in a position where you're vulnerable to the checks from the knight, or it can get very tricky and frustrating. Okay, next one. Here we just looked at trapping a knight. So obviously in the center of the board, a knight is harder to trap. So the training challenge here was, do you think the white queen can capture the black knight? And you can practice it on a board. Has anyone had a go at this? Great. And what did you think? Can you or can't you? Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Charlie. With precise play, you can. And you start with queen e2. The knight eventually, let me do that in a different colour. The knight eventually runs out of places it can hide. And you'll find understanding this is very important for lots of types of endgame position. So that's one to play out. We might have a go at that later on. Number 7. Training challenge. Do you think the white queen can capture the black bishop? It can't. Well done. Excellent. Lots of correct answers there. You can't ever capture this bishop. Well, you could if your opponent put it on a square where it could be captured, but the bishop can run away. Unlike the knight. Thanks, Gonzalo, Jaden, Sophie. Yeah, lots of you there. Thank you. So just be aware of the different potentials of the pieces. The knight's a great piece, but if the knight gets attacked by the queen, it's in trouble. Whereas here, the bishop can run away. Okay, number 7. Did anyone have a go at this? I find this very, very interesting, this position. Now, how did you find it? I mean, obviously, you know how to checkmate with a rook against a king, but this is really important and instructive for learning about opposition to great depth. So let's have a game. Why don't you guys play against me then? Yeah, the first move that gets shouted out will play. And you've got to do it. The training challenge, if you haven't seen it, is can white checkmate black by only moving the rook once? Okay, so let's get started. I've had king a2. I'm just going to go with the first move I have in the chat. So don't shout out if you're going to tell me the wrong move. Who will win? Well, white needs to win, but only moving the rook once. So obviously that rook move will be checkmate. It's king a2. So you can see now white has the long distance opposition. So I'm going to play black. I will move my king to, let's say, b8. All right, don't shout out too quickly because I'm going to go with the first move that you guys suggest, which is not the right move. Oh, I got a suggestion. Well, you guys will just have to play again. If you get it wrong, I got a suggestion of king b3, which does not keep on the opposition. So that doesn't work. Let's go back. Lots of people writing the correct answer, king b2. Look, if you look at the colours of the squares, we've got the opposition. Keeping the long distance opposition. But remember, the opposition is only useful if it serves a purpose. So obviously, if I went back, you wouldn't just go king a2. That would be really silly. So you need to actually make progress. So after I move my king, I'm going to move my king to a8. Now, how can you use the opposition to make progress? Thank you, Charlie and Marcos, and lots of you there. King goes to c3. Okay, so it doesn't matter now that the kings are on different colours, because when the king moves to, let's say, I've got one person waiting to join the meeting, just let them in. King b7. Now white can regain the opposition and white's made progress. So yeah, good, guys. King b3. I will go to a7. And what are you going to play? Don't shout out the wrong move. Yeah, we're going to go forward. Instead of c3, we're going to go to c4, outflanking our opponent. Because now the black king, well, where do I go? If I go a6, you can just come forward. If I go to b6, what's white going to play now? Yeah, and can you see the progress we've made from getting the opposition? So now king a6, white to play. What are we going to do now? Good, king c5. Obviously, I can't go here because I get checkmated. So, yeah, now this part's quite easy. What do you go? Yeah, good. And can anyone get checkmate in one? I hope so. Yeah, so that really does demonstrate outflanking, and it's good to practice. So well done if you managed to understand that. And just remember that the opposition is very useful, or extremely useful, in promoting a pawn and in endgames, but obviously you don't just get the opposition to then repeat the opposition. You need to use it to make progress, and you do that by coming forwards at the right moment. Okay, great, well done, guys. Let's move on to the next position. Knight and bishop checkmate. This is one that you should practice, and is one of those where if you don't practice it for ages, you forget the patterns and techniques. You'll get it in your game, and you'll probably forget how to do it. I mean, it's unusual. I've only had it in 2 games. First time I got it, I was very young, and I actually managed to get checkmate sort of by accident. I didn't really know what I was doing. The second time I got it, it was a game where you don't get any increments, because we never used to. And I think I had like a few minutes, and I didn't manage it in time. But again, that was years ago. I think now I'd probably be able to do it pretty quickly, especially since we've been practicing it in some of the online classes. It's very important to know. And this is one that you can practice against a computer, practice against anyone at home that plays chess. And this is the starting position that you want to be trying to get to. So yeah, exactly. So Sarah, how do you force the king out of the center? Well, excuse me. Now I don't have a technique for that. I just move my pieces towards the center, and then black gets pushed backwards. So I think it's just on general like ideas and plans. I've got some training positions on it which I can send across, but I suppose if you get a random position, you've just got to move your pieces towards the center, and eventually black won't have much option except to go to the back rank, and then you can try and coordinate this pattern, which is the starting position. So bishop h7, a few people have said that in the chat, and then we start the W technique. I have heard that there's another technique that I think Lichess uses, but I've never used that. I think this W technique is extremely reliable and effective. So do you want to have a quick go at, well, we'll do that after, actually. I think I'll just go for it, and you can practice the ones that you want to at the end of the class, because you can just click continue from here and do it against Stockfish, and then it's probably more fun for you guys. Okay, so number 10. Now this is all about, number 9. This is all about so whether this is winning or not. So what do you think? Can we win this? Can we not? And what are the key points about the position? Yeah, I think we've covered this in our 64 important endgame positions as well. You can actually win this. Has anyone had a chance to practice it? Yeah, just remember, you cannot waste a move with a knight. So you've got to be very, very precise. But yes, this is indeed winning. And number 10. Is this winning? Yes or no? It's a draw. The mistake White's made is White's pushed the pawn forward too quickly. So like I say, you can't waste a move with the knight. So even if we go like knight c6, that can just move the king to a8. And whilst we can bring our king up like this, how are we going to get our knight to c7 and have the pawn defended? Well, we can't. So that pawn's been pushed too far, and it's just a draw. So don't get overexcited in these positions and push the pawn as far as it can go and just assume it's winning. Again, that's a very important one to know in case you get it in the end game. And let's move to the next position now. Is this winning or drawing, and why? Somebody tell me why, please. Yeah, the bishop is on the wrong color, thank you. Lots of correct answers there. If it was on a dark square, this would be winning, but there's no way you can make progress. And if you don't know that, yeah, why not just play it out? You know, you think it's easy, and then suddenly you realize, oh, actually, yeah, I got stalemate a bit too quickly there. Let's try and do this. It's just no way of making progress, because here king goes there, and what can we do? So if it was a dark square bishop, it would be a different story. And this is really important in the end game when you're trying to, get a draw in a position. You can make sure that you're aware of this formation, and you can swap pawns off, pieces off, and be confident you can get a draw. Yeah, I wouldn't encourage offering a draw. It's for your opponent to prove that it's a draw. I'd let them play it out and check they know. I've seen strong players resign in positions that are completely drawn, including none other than Sam Shankland. So playing them out. His one was a bit complicated, a bit more complicated than this. But yeah, that's true. And let's go now on to the next position. And hopefully you know now that this is, well, is it still a draw? Yeah, it's a win because we can give a check and force the king out of the corner. So they're the 12 positions we hope to have a go at in week 1. I'm just going to put a poll on a Zoom now. See if you can answer this for me. This will be very important. And it doesn't matter what you write. This is all for your own personal development. And the answers are anonymous anyway. So just answer that poll for me, please. Which of these would you find difficult in a game? Work from the top and only select the first answer that applies. Hopefully you can see the poll on your screen. I've had 14 out of 17 of you have voted, so that's good. It hasn't come up, Sophie. It should have popped up somewhere. Does anyone have any advice? If someone can't see the poll, it disappeared when you stop sharing the screen. Oh, it's my fault then. Should I try and share it again? I can maybe launch the poll again. Maybe I'll do that. Sorry, guys. It should still be there. It says attendees are now viewing the questions. Let me see. I have shared my screen again. I wanted to show you something on here. Okay, well, I'll try again. I'll end that and I'll do it again. Try it out. Answer one more time, please. Relaunch. There we go. Okay, just answer it again if that's okay. I won't stop sharing my screen this time in case it causes a problem. So which of these would you find difficult in a game? Work from the top and only select the first answer that applies. Just got 13 out of 17 if you have done it so far. So if you can answer it, that would be fantastic. And then I'm going to talk to you about the training plan that we've put in place and the tracker. Still waiting on 3 of you. Can we do more polls? This is the only one I made for today, but yeah, I can do them if you like them. I'm just waiting on 2 people to answer it. Trivia as well today. I haven't got any trivia planned for today, but I can do that in another session because I know you like it. Okay, 2 more people. If you haven't answered the poll, please do. I'll keep it open. So have you seen the tracker that we've added this month? And if you can, print that off. And have you got maybe you've got a chess folder or something at home? You can put it in your chess folder and you can go through these and just make sure you're confident. Because I remember when I was a very strong player and I realized I didn't know a basic position. So, I mean, these things happen. You don't want to have any gaps. As I'm sure William will laugh when I say this, but there's the there's the women's world champion that can do the knight and bishop checkmate. I've talked about that lots of times. She obviously didn't practice it, and then suddenly she couldn't do it in a game, a very important game. So these things, you just need to make sure you practice and that you understand the ideas. Like for the knight and bishop checkmate, it's about learning the coordination between the bishop and the knight. The bishop will cover the squares so the knight will cover the squares that the bishop can't cover, and they work really well together. Well, it's just a general idea, the rating. I wouldn't take it too seriously. We're just trying to sort of say that if you're up to that rating, you should know all these positions. And then the harder ones are probably aimed at this rating, but I wouldn't take it too seriously, that rating. I'd just try and tick all the ones you're aware of and confident with. Okay, so I'm going to, so let's see the poll. Right, we've had 60% knight and bishop versus king, 33% queen versus rook, and 7% two bishops versus king. So if I just stop sharing my screen for a moment, let's go to have a look at these positions again on lead chess. And I want you guys to have a go now. So it's your turn to practice them. Obviously, the booklet tells you to practice them, but if we're all together here doing it, then it means you'll be able to do it. You'll find time to do it. So let's try. So what you can do is go through these. Let's you can see the whole screen now. Any that you want to do, I will let you screen share so I can see how you're getting on. Any that you want to do, just play them out against Stockfish. So all you need to do is you click there on the 3 lines, continue from here and play them out probably against Stockfish, 8, and make sure you're confident. And also if somebody wants to play against somebody else during this session from that position, please do. You can play once with the winning position, once with the losing position, so if you can defend, even though hopefully you won't be able to defend because your opponent will know what they're doing. It's easy to listen to a chess teacher sort of saying, this is how you do it, and then think, oh yeah, I understand. But it's not the same as playing it out, maybe getting it wrong the first few times, and then moving on and actually understanding it. So it doesn't matter if you get them wrong, you make mistakes. That's the whole point of playing them out. So let me just put this link in the chat in case you don't have it. The study's there. It's in your booklet, but I put it, sorry, I didn't mean to just do it to Charlie. I'll do it to everyone. There's the studies. Just click on the study. And any that you want to have a go at, please do. Now, don't be embarrassed by trying one that looks easy, because, I think I always struggled with knight versus pawn end games and like the box technique. So there's certain positions that you wouldn't necessarily be comfortable with. So play them out. And like I say, you can share your usernames in the chat if you want to find a training partner to play them with. But if not, then just do it against Stockfish. And it's great way to learn. Yeah, and if you want to share your screen and I can see how you're getting on, that's no problem at all. So I'll do that in a moment once I take mine off. And like I say, if there's one that is a bit easy, or you think it's easy but you're not confident with it, just do it, because that's how you get better. And make sure you're getting up to date with your 64 important end games as well. I'll put the link in the chat to that. You can always play those out. Yeah, I'll allow you to share your screens in a moment. I'm just making sure everyone understands what we're doing. We've got until 11 o'clock to do these. And yeah, let's do it. Let's work hard. Let's try and get them right. So I'll stop sharing my screen. If you do want to share your screen, you can, and then I can see what you're doing and how you're getting on. Or you can just tell me in the chat, which is also fine. I've got a couple of people sharing their screens and having a go. And you can start at whichever level you want to. Obviously, I wouldn't bother with ones that you find trivially easy, but I'm getting some annotated screens as well, which is nice. Okay, I'll stop the recording for. Okay, so for the benefit of the recording, I just paused the recording for 20 minutes while children practice the positions. Quite a few people decided to play them out against each other, which was helpful. And now we're just coming back to reflect on how they got on. So yeah, I saw lots of games in progress, and if you played against each other, which I think is really good. If you can buddy up and play against each other, then it's a little bit more human and it gives you that extra dynamic. And I've got a question here from Gonzalo. So let me just open the study you want. I think it's this one, number 22. Is it this one here, Gonzalo? Great. Okay. So on move 7, why not queen g7 check? Yeah, that does look like quite a good move, doesn't it? Winning the bishop and the king. Yeah, well, that's just, but I think it's because, yeah, no, I think you're right. That's just a much better move. So yeah, well noticed. Excellent. So how did you find playing them out? I think it's really important to do that. Like I said before, if you just listen to me, then it's great, I hope, but you don't know whether you know how to do it until you play it out, and hope, you'll get it wrong the first couple of times and you'll learn something. So it's something we're thinking about doing more frequently with the academy, where we all come together. I go through the material and then you can practice it against a friend, or you can practice it against Stockfish. And I think it's just the fact that you're all together and this is your chess time to do the work, because obviously you've got busy lives, you've got other things going on, and it's just a chance to practice. So I hope you enjoy the new format. Just let me know in the chat. That'd be great to find out your feedback and whether you want to continue this as well. I think quite a lot of you did the queen and versus knight one, which I think was fantastic. So like I said to you, I think that's hard. And it's the kind of position that you can get in a game and assume it'll be easy, and then it isn't easy. So where is it? I've forgotten which number it is now. And quite a few of you did the bishop and knight checkmate, which is a must to know. Where's my knight? Yeah, this one, if you want to practice, you need to do it. Put a black king on the board, because otherwise it's not a real position. So the material content for the first week, we've gone through briefly, and then you've had a go at practicing it. Let me just bring up the endgame stuff here. So if you can, please do print off your tracker and just be confident in these positions, because they are must-knows. And even if you don't have them in your games, you will at some point get a similar idea or a similar position. And at your level, you should know these positions. So print these off. Oh, thanks for the feedback. That's great. Can we still do quiz and blitz though? Yeah, I'm sure we can. It's just about finding the time to fit it in. But yeah, of course. So week 2, let me have a look. And for next week, yeah, you can, if you've got some more time over the weekend, carry on practicing those, be really confident with those. And then week 2, I'll be doing pawn endgames. So attempt pawn endgame puzzle set, and stop at the level you feel able to complete. So, I mean, some of them are really hard. So just go through them and make sure you're confident in the basic ones. And then if you want to push yourself, you can go on to the harder ones as well. Okay, well, I hope everyone enjoyed the session today. We do have another one in the diary. Thank you very much for joining. Make sure you give us your feedback. And yeah, let's hope England win the match tonight. Bye for now.